Hi, it's Mark Rushton of markrushton.com. It is Monday, February 8th, 2021. And I don't know when it snowed outside. 2.5, 3 inches. It's still kind of flurrying a little bit or whatever, but it's the fluffiest stuff on the planet. And you could, because I did, blow it away with an air mover, a really good one. And that's what I did for the most part. I still had to do a little bit of shoveling and everything like that, but taking a little break here, just a short break from the day job, to tell you about some things that I worked on yesterday and last night, this weekend, and never sure when my wife is coming home these days because weird hours at her job. So I don't need anybody clunking around downstairs or Archie Bunker moments or anything like that. So let's work. What are you doing here on the Creative Commons? This is a really, I have never really used these until recently. The Creative Commons, and I use the public domain. When you're searching for something out here, you go back to the search results. I was looking for, the CCO here. This work has been marked in the public domain, and then these two here, and then you got these other ones here. Where you attribute the author and stuff, credit the creator. And I don't know how do you do that when you're making a graphic for like a playlist or something like that. I don't know how to do that. So I stick with the legal stuff, things like this. Although I'm surprised I don't. Getty Images, they like to steal everything. But it's always something that you have to be concerned about when you're creating playlists or using graphics for your albums or tracks or whatever like that, is the potential for copyright claim. They've got Content ID out there, and they've got all these other sniffers that sniff for things when they're being loaded up, whether it's words that you use or is it too blurry. Like Apple's been doing that for I think more than a decade, sniffing around like that. Even on the podcast, like, no blurry images. We don't want any. You can't have any blurry images. Like Peter Gabriel, some of his album covers, he'd be kind of out of luck these days, I do believe. But I either use my pictures that I took myself, or I use my paintings that I've scanned that I own the copyright on, or I use public domain stuff. And I don't use public domain stuff that often. I try to make my own when I can, but if the moon's not up, what are you going to do? Well, this is the next best thing. A lot of photos of the moon. Then you can kind of play around with them in the graphics, and who cares, right? So there's that. What else is there? I want to show you this. Let me bring this over here. Return of the Matyk by Ambient Matyk. It was the first thing John and I had made together. We made it in, I think, November, late November, or I think it was around Thanksgiving. And we reconnected again, and we recorded this at the Matyk building in Cedar Rapids. And I released it quickly on Bandcamp as a freebie, or it became a freebie eventually. As a free to download, name your price, whatever. And then I sent it out to the streamers. And after some time, I noticed that it was not on Spotify. And I was like, what's going on? And it was not on Spotify. It was not on Apple Music. I went back into the distributor, and for some reason it got stuck. It went out to every other place. It went out to Deezer and Pandora and all those other services. But Apple Music, Spotify, for some reason, I don't know why would this get hung up? Is it the image? This is a painting that's down at the Matyk building. It's an original painting. So it certainly wasn't the graphic. There wasn't any a tin eye sniffing on there or anything like that. That's a good image, though. That's in the bath. That's in the men's. Is it the men's bathroom, or is it just the bathroom? Okay, I think it's the men's bathroom upstairs. I think they have two bathrooms up there, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's just the main I don't know. But Yeah, always put art in your bathrooms. That's one thing I always say. So it did get out there, and I don't know. It was like 2 weeks ago. I went back into the distributor's site, and I was like, you had to click this and do that and generate that, and then it said, eventually it said around January 30th, it's on its way to Spotify, and it was like that for a week, and then I checked. I guess it was yesterday, and there it was showing up there in Spotify. So Return of the Matyks out there, and got some good stuff on there. It's live, improvisational, ambient ish, noise ish, playing ish, that sort of thing. And it's not going to be everybody's cup, but there's some good things in there, and it's what we do. It's what we do. There's a little bantering, a little talking, not much. Maybe we actually include more of that. That's kind of fun. John and I have a good banter out there, and it's in the first song there, right at the end. And you're just like, what? It's good. It's good. You hear a little bit of John's soloing, bass soloing too, in John's Return, and other tracks as well. It's good. Happy to get that out there because I have another album coming out by Ambient Matyk very, very soon, just because you know how things are. We record a lot of stuff, and the second album is called in recent time here is Geneva, and Geneva's coming out on the streamers, I think in the next week or two, and there's some great stuff on this too, and it's now out on Bandcamp under Ambient Matyk 1.bandcamp.com. I screwed up and I've just kept it. I don't care, and a lot of just great. John on bass guitar and effects, me on lap steel, apps, and effects. Lap steel, mostly effects. Do you know how to play it? I'm playing it. Do you know how to play it no, I do not know how to play it like a country music person would know how to play it. But I get stuff out of it. It's been a very, very fun instrument to play. It really has. And I got to say, there is an instrument that I would love to get eventually, and that would be a bass clarinet. I played bass clarinet in like junior high, and I think a little bit in high school. And I always used a school instrument, and they always have such a great sound. Mick Karn of Japan played one on a number of the Japan tracks, and on the Rain Tree Crow album, if I'm not mistaken. All but in name Japan reunion back in 1989, 1990. And really just a wonderful instrument. And the good ones cost just a lot of money, $2,000 and up. And you can get the cheapies for, I think, a few $100s, but I'd kind of like to get something nice. But I'd love to just rent one for a while, I'll just rent it for a month or two. Wouldn't it be funny? Somebody emails, hey, I got one. I'll send it to you, and you can rent it for a few months for whatever, and a couple $100s or something like that. That'd be kind of fun. That might, I may not be interested in buying or just rent one, It's like, well, why don't you just try one of the local music shops? I think they rent bass clarinets. They'll rent like a trumpet, or they'll rent a saxophone or something like that. But bass clarinet, that's something the school, that's why they have to have the fundraisers at school, It's like, the bass clarinet's falling apart. Can't get the parts for it anymore. Let's get a new one. And when I was in the music store here a couple weeks ago, I was looking up, I was seeing how much reeds were like $25. Oh my God, that's crazy. But I'd love to just be able to like hook a little pickup to it, run it through the effects, and just eventually. That's down the road. Maybe when I have a studio someday, that'd be kind of fun to play around with. So Geneva's out there. How much music do we have on here? We have 10, 16, 17, 18, about 30 minutes, 32, 33 minutes of music here. The first one, Return of the Matyk, is just over an hour. It's got some longer tracks on it. But What's the other thing? What's the other thing? These things always come in threes here. I'm trying to figure this out. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. This here is kind of interesting. This is from one of the artists that I publish under, and this is from the Pandora amp data. And I won't tell you which artist it is because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's an artist where I got it. I had to take some time to get all of that artist releases into the Pandora premium side. Had to do some cleanup and stuff like that. And then building playlists and scheduling featured tracks. And I'm not sure if I've done artist messages on that or not. But anyway, so here's the result. Here's the result here. 28 days, 67 station ads. And that is for artist station. For some reason, they have heard this particular artist and they've decided to add that as a station, which that's great. I mean, it's not setting the world on fire. It's not buying my 9th or 10th mansion, but that's kind of cool that you could build something into that. And the thing that I love about this, the graphic here, look where the station ads are. They're all over the country. Nearly every state, not every, look, none in Iowa, none in South Dakota, none in Nebraska or Wyoming or Utah or Arizona or Arkansas or Missouri. But there's a lot of states there with dots in them. Yeah. And some of them have bigger dots in them. That's it. More activity, more listening. That's way cool. I mean, look at all these different places here. You got big Brownsville. You got Narlands, right? Got Narlands in there. You got something in Tennessee, part of Florida. And what's that? Is that Raleigh? I don't know. New York City is the place where. Boston. That's not a big college town, right? What's that? Is that Kalamazoo right there? I'm like the weather guy, right? Look at this up here in the upper part of is that in the peninsula or what is that? And Idaho, Washington, Portland, the middle of is that where the Bunny Ranch is? Right there in Nevada? That's not Las Vegas. That's like in the middle of legal prostitution land or where they set off the nukes, right? Somebody's listening. That's cool. And Alaska, of course, where it's probably warmer there than it is here. We got so much snow out there. It's absolutely crazy. You want to see? Come here. Look. That's the roof of the Three Seasons porch. I think we're gonna have that third season. All right. Anyway, love this graphic. I just had to go and cut it out and show it here. And because the point is, your audience is not in your town. It is not people that you know or on Facebook or Twitter or whatever like that. Your audience is random and they are out all over the place. And there's nothing you can do about it except try to set yourself up for success. Try to build those get better with those graphics. Get better with building smaller playlists with good titles, with good graphics, with good descriptions. It's a long process. I look back at some of the early playlists I've made on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Pandora. I'm just like, God, that looks like crap. It's amazing that anybody even wanted to listen to that, right? But it's the numbers game. And as you get better at it over time, you start looking at other services and the playlists that they have and the graphics that they have and how big they are. In Spotify's case, the Spotify curated playlist, some of those will have just an enormous number of songs in there. And I try to keep mine down to a reasonable level, So anyway, that's it for today. I got to get back to the day job to kind of finish up the day and then shovel whatever else is out there. I don't know how much we got. Probably 3 more inches of the light, fluffy stuff, 2.5, 3 inches. It's very light and fluffy. It should move. It should move pretty good. Hopefully there won't be any wind The last thing we need. That'll blow right across. It's the fluffiest. If you can move it with a leaf blower, it's crazy. So anyway, that's it for today. Might do a late night Rushton tonight. I don't know, but it's Monday, February 8th, 2021. I wish it was 2011. I changed some things. All right, talk to you later. How do I get out of here? How do I get out of here? Oh, I got to go back to the moon. Yeah, all right.